This is the leading news from the Albuquerque Journal. I'm Gino Gutierrez. It's Monday, August 24th. Here's what we're covering on today's episode. A long-awaited museum honoring the Navajo code talkers is finally moving forward, but not where many descendants expected. New Mexico In-Depth's Bella Davis reports that New Mexico has set aside $20 million for the project, while Chevron donated about 200 acres near Window Rock, Arizona, back in 2009. Instead, state officials plan to build a scaled-down museum at Navajo Preparatory School in Farmington with a groundbreaking plan for December. Some code talker descendants say they weren't adequately consulted and believe the museum belongs closer to the Navajo Nation's capital. They also question the decision to move the project, with one descendant pointing to Farmington's history of discrimination against Navajo and indigenous people. State lawmakers have raised additional concerns about who will control the museum, how the money will be spent, and whether the Navajo Nation should ultimately own it. The state says it will own the facility during construction before transferring it to Navajo Preparatory School. The museum will also include a Navajo Language Institute and student leadership program. Only 2 Navajo code talkers are still alive. The New Mexico Supreme Court is temporarily pausing proceedings on a key air quality permit for Project Jupiter, the massive data center under construction in Santa Teresa. In a unanimous order Sunday night, the 5 justices granted a stay while they consider a petition from the clean energy group New Energy Economy. The group argues the State Environment Department shouldn't have moved forward with a public hearing on the project's permit because the developers haven't fully established how the facility will get its fuel. Project Jupiter's proposed microgrid will use methane-powered fuel cells to generate electricity for the data center. A proposed pipeline would carry about 400 million cubic feet of natural gas a day from El Paso to the project, but the state land office has twice rejected requests to route the pipeline across state trust land. The Supreme Court's order pauses the administrative proceedings until further notice. The court says that it's not deciding whether the permit should ultimately be approved. The public hearing had been scheduled to begin on September 14th, and the justices have ordered responses in the case in by September 2nd. New Mexico Congresswoman Teresa Leger Fernandez is asking a federal watchdog to investigate potential health and environmental risks from wildfire retardants. Leger Fernandez and 7 other members of Congress want the Government Accountability Office to examine whether hazardous materials found in some fire retardants could contaminate drinking water and harm human health. The request follows the discovery last November of unsafe levels of antimony, arsenic, uranium in dozens of private wells in Mora County. State health officials noted at the time that those metals are commonly found in fire suppressants used during wildfires, including the 2022 Hermit's Peak Calf Canyon fire. Later testing by the New Mexico Environment Department found those metals were within federal safe drinking water limits. Still, Leger Fernandez says federal agencies used nearly 50 million gallons of fire retardant in 2024 alone. The lawmakers want the Government Accountability Office to study the prevalence of toxic metals and retardants and their potential impacts on watersheds and firefighters and whether safe alternatives are available. The Government Accountability Office says it has received the request and is considering whether to investigate. And New Mexico's 2 largest universities are reviewing a letter from the Trump administration asking colleges to publicly address a series of hot-button issues by the end of the year. U.S. Education Secretary Linda McMahon sent the letter to colleges nationwide, asking them to outline commitments to academic rigor, research, admission standards, free speech, and tuition transparency. The letters call for the universities to ensure admissions decisions are based clearly on merit and achievement, protect free speech while preventing violent protests from disrupting classes, and conduct research that serves the American public. It also asks schools to explain how they'll protect academics from foreign influence, address artificial intelligence, and ensure their programs meet workforce needs. The University of New Mexico and New Mexico State University have both confirmed receiving the letter, and neither said whether they will formally respond. UNM says it remains committed to academic excellence, open inquiry, and research integrity. At a UNM Board of Regents meeting this week, Faculty Senate President Roberta Levin says faculty should have a role in developing any response. The letter is part of the Trump administration's broader effort to reshape higher education. The leading news is powered by the journalism of the Albuquerque Journal. If you enjoy hearing all of the stories we share with you here daily, please consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Journal by utilizing the discount code in our show notes. Every subscription helps support local journalism and allows us to provide you with the news that matters to you. Now taking a look at Albuquerque's weather forecast. Today you can expect mostly sunny skies with a high near 99, and as for this evening, partly cloudy with a low around 69. To keep up with all the latest news from the Albuquerque Journal, you can visit our website at abqjournal.com. That's the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. We'll be back tomorrow.